Well, surprise, surprise. Who thought that the Cuse was not going to be in the NCAA tournament? Anybody, raise your hand. Okay, I'm a sucker. Of course, it's just me in the room, but I admit, a lot of others probably were pretty sure that the Cuse was on the bubble or they were headed to the NIT. Well, surprise, surprise. They are the number 10 seed in the Midwest bracket of the NCAA tournament, which means they're going to be playing in St. Louis on Friday and Sunday. And their opponents in the first round of the tournament, the team that knocked them out 2 years ago, the Dayton Flyers from the Atlantic 10. Well, who'd have thought that maybe they'd be playing in Dayton, Ohio, either tonight or tomorrow as one of the first four? Because I thought if they were going to get in the tournament, they were going to be one of the play-in games, albeit an 11th or 12th seed. But whatever, the committee decided that the Cuse, even with their late season slide, was worthy enough to get in. And it's Dayton. And a little revenge factor going on, don't you think? Because, both Michael Benajay and Trevor Cooney were members of that team that Dayton knocked out 2 years ago. Maybe a little thing there, incentive. You don't know what this is going to do for Cuse Nation. Either, I know there's a few people down in Olean, New York that are a little disappointed. They thought St. Bonaventure did enough to get in, but alas, St. Bonaventure is probably the top seed in the NIT, which is where I thought the Cuse was going. Oh well, what do I know? It's the NCAA selection committee that does the job. Well, let's hope we can take out those Flyers, shall we, and get a little revenge. But of course, you know what might happen on Sunday. They probably will be playing the team that was expected to get one of the number 1 seeds. Dum-da-dum-dum. That's right. It's those Spartans from Lansing, Michigan, Michigan State, and Tom Izzo. Everybody thought Michigan State was probably one of the 4 number 1s, but alas, believe it or not, some Ducks are one of the number 1 seeds. Yeah, who'd have thunk that the Oregon Ducks would be one of the number 1 seeds? Well, of course, as I said before, what do I know? I'm hoping this could be the start of a run, but you never know. It's the NCAA tournament and anything can happen. Here we go, Cuse folks. Let's have a nice run to the Final Four, hopefully. Let's get past the Flyers, hopefully. A little revenge. It's March Madness. Ah! Now I'm going from that madness to another one that happened around here. Of course, it's the high school thing of March Madness. South Seneca did the citizens of Seneca County, and especially around Ovid and Interlaken, proud. The Lady Falcons garnered their first state championship in 13 years. Congratulations to South Seneca, especially to the Falcons bringing another state championship to Seneca County to do what Romulus did about a year or so ago. Of course, people are thinking that, South Seneca and Romulus ought to merge. I mean, there's been merger talk in this county for a while, thinking that Seneca Falls and Waterloo ought to merge school districts. But you know what? I think Romulus and South Seneca, being the small size they are, they ought to merge. But I digress. I'm just saying congratulations to those Lady Falcons who swooped in Troy to the Hudson Valley Community College and came out with a state championship. Good job, South Seneca. I'm going to go from that story to another local story. Anybody see the march that happened on Saturday? Especially going out. They're protesting what Seneca Meadows wants to do. Of course, Who hasn't woken up the last few years to those vile odors coming from the landfill? It always seems as though no matter what, you step outside, you're like, who farted? Or if you're driving past the landfill, it's almost like, who farted? Oh well. Thing is, they held a protest on Saturday, led by Brad Jones. Walked along the railroad tracks, walked and dumped trash right by Mr. Nizzolio's office. And also the little rally down there in People's Park, out in protest of the plan to to actually bring trash by train up here to Seneca Meadows for the next 20 years. Heck, like I said in a previous show, we already have a lot of trash, especially from New York City. It's called Andrew Cuomo and all of his stuff that is brought in, especially the SAFE Act. Of course, some people might say this is trash for his $15 an hour minimum wage proposal. Some saying it's going to move jobs out of New York State. Oh, well, I don't know. But the thing is, yeah, it's going to be costly to implement the thing. But, Seneca County doesn't need any more trash from New York City, if you know what I mean. As I said, we got enough. Who'd have thought that Donald Trump's rallies, especially as he moves closer to the Republican nomination, who'd have thought they'd become hockey matches? It seems as though lately that there's been a lot of scrums going on, especially that one there where that guy sucker punched one of the protesters. I keep track of what's going on there with the Republican nomination and the Democratic nomination, and especially with Donald Trump, hockey scrums break out. Yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, it's starting to look more like Donald Trump's going to be our Republican nominee for president. But who'd have thought they'd tune in to see maybe Rob Ray come in and start fighting? Or maybe Stu Grimson, one of the greatest NHL goons of all time, be involved in a scrum there at one of his rallies. Well, is this the Republican nomination process, or is this auditions to be the next NHL enforcer? We'll find out. And of course, I have to say one other thing about locally. That was a pretty darn good production of Footloose by the Mynderse Drama Club. I stopped because my neighbor, who actually is a pretty darn good singer, played the role of Vi there in Footloose, the preacher's wife. Of course, I'm one of those who remembers the original 1984 movie with Kevin Bacon and John Lithgow in what was one of Kevin Bacon's first big roles. Ever since Mr. Avery retired, I've kind of lamented it. But the thing is, it's been a long time since I went to see a drama club presentation, especially when I was in school. My sister was a member of that drama club, and she did a wonderful job in all the production she was in. But I forgot how good Minders can put on a drama club and a play. That was a wonderful job, Hannah. That was a wonderful job by the entire cast of Footloose. Who'd have thought that everybody could cut Footloose there on the stage, and especially to the actress, who could hit that high note a la Denise Williams in Let's Hear It for the Boy. I haven't had a note that high ever since Mariah Carey shattered a wine glass. But I digress. And I have to say, that is all I have to say this week. And let's go, Cuse. I never thought you'd be in the tournament. I thought you'd be in the NIT. But I digress. Let's make a run for the championship, Cuse.